What's going on, y'all? Also going to talk about this today. We have these new AI platforms coming out. You got Seedream, you got Nano, hope I'm pronouncing it right. You got ChatGPT, you got all these different programs, right? You got Midjourney, and you got a few other ones, right? Seedream, I believe, is another one, Flux. And a lot of Christians, they're wondering, what should we think about these AI platforms? Should Christians fear AI? Of course, the answer is no, because we fear God ourselves. We don't fear no artificial intelligence. And you have to also understand is that the Bible did say that these things would happen in the last days. It's in the last days technology will increase. It's in the last days that these things will happen. So you can't be shocked at AI. Because some people be like, oh my gosh, look how realistic these things look. Oh my gosh, look how these things look so realistic. They look like they could be real people. You have to understand, y'all, is that the Bible said these things will happen. Nothing is shocking God. Nothing is surprising the Most High. You have to understand, God saw all this stuff happening years before the earth was even formed. That's one thing about the Most High. Nobody could fool God. So we just have to understand is that as Christians, these things were bound to happen. It's associated with the last days. Now, do I think that all AI is evil? Listen, y'all, God is the author of everything. There's a good and there's a bad to it. Alright? There's a good and there's a bad to almost everything on this planet. With AI, yes, there can be bad, such as people creating videos of you, people making false versions of the Bible, people making false statements that Jesus never said, that people in the Bible never said, yes. Now, can it be used, though, for good? Can it be used to create, like, Christian movies, to help bring more souls to the kingdom of God, to, like, entertain people? Can it be used for, like, more people to come into God's kingdom? Sometimes people want to watch, like, a nice film, good, basically good stuff. Yes, it could be used for that. Like I said, y'all, God is the creator of everything. Nothing shocks God. There's a good and there's a bad to everything. Just like how God creates something, Satan can pervert it. So we cannot be afraid of AI. Sometimes these AI stuff, I'm not even gonna lie, y'all, like some of these stuff can look so realistic while I'm watching some of these videos. Sometimes I have to really ask myself, like, wow, that was really AI, that thing looks so real. We cannot be shocked, and this AI stuff is going to continue for many generations. It's not going to stop because it's already gotten popular. For a lot of people who are movie makers, I heard somebody say this, that, if this AI stuff ever goes up to like 2 minutes or so, like a lot of you movie makers are going to be in trouble. Like AI is really taking over. That's why some people are starting to lose jobs now, because you got some places around the world, right, to where they're now hiring AI instead of real workers. I'm talking about, you got some places, right? I believe there's a McDonald's in Austin, Texas. I believe there's a McDonald's in Austin, Texas, and I believe there's another restaurant in California, to where AI, like all the workers are AI. I'm talking about there's not even a human who works there. I believe on Facebook the other day I saw like a video, right, to where that person was speaking to a customer service rep from a different country. They were not even in the US. I believe they were from the Philippines. And a lot of countries, they're going to take this AI stuff serious. You know why they're going to go along with this AI stuff? Because they're going to take this AI stuff serious, because a lot of these companies don't want to pay people. These companies rather use a machine or use someone from a different country, because it saves them more money. And with technology increasing, that's why I've told many of God's people in the past, try to have like a business on the side. Don't just rely on one job, because many of these jobs, man, this AI stuff is taking over many places. This AI stuff is taking over many jobs. Let's see, you even got people nowadays to where they run into a machine now. They run into a machine to where they rather run to a machine for love. You got people now to where they buying robots for love. They buying a robot to love them. Now, you'd ask yourself, like, how can a person redate a robot? But y'all, it's really happening. People are really getting with robots. This AI stuff is really getting crazy. And a lot of people around the world, some people are worried, but as followers of God, we can't put fear in the machine, man. We got to put fear in the Most High God, because He's the author and the finisher of our faith. As followers of Christ, we have to understand that these things are going to happen. And to be honest, more technology might come down the line. Like, this might just be a very beginning. For years, they've been talking about flying cars and all these different stuff. A car that could drive on water. Many people say that stuff is impossible, but how things are moving, you can't be shocked. You can't be shocked if AI starts replacing some movies. But at the end of the day, man, as followers of Christ, we ain't got to fear all this stuff because God is the one who opens doors and He's the one who could close doors. You know, even if all these jobs are being taken by AI and all this stuff, if you either, a producer or a movie maker or just a regular employee, you ain't got to fear all that, man. Because guess what? Whom God blesses, no man can curse. Because there's one thing AI can't take away, and that's talent. When you got God-given talent, AI can't do everything. Some things is just God-given. But we do have to understand is that this AI stuff can get tricky, though, because people can now start to make false rumors against the followers of Christ. Because remember, y'all, we live in a wicked system. We live in a system to where Satan's people try to oppress God's people. Satan's people, they'll try to use anything to go at God's people. Just imagine you could be a regular minister of the gospel, a regular prophet or evangelist, right? And you got somebody who come up with an AI video of you saying some false statements. For example, you could be a pastor to where you are man, you faithful to your wife. And somebody try to come up with some AI video, make it look like, oh, look, we caught footage of him cheating on his wife. Look, we caught footage of him sneaking around with some woman who's not his wife. And you'll be like, wait, that's not me. I even know how that footage got there. Now I realize that it's AI. And then some people, they take it and they run with it. Because a lot of people, they love drama. Same thing if you're a woman. You could be a woman to where you devout to God, you devoted to your faith, and you got some people, right? They'll somehow come up with some false images of you, some false AI video of you with some guy sleeping around, throwing your body around them. Next, people are saying, she not no real Christian. Look how she acting. Look, I saw a video of her with so-and-so. I saw a video of her with all these guys on the block. I saw a video of her with 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 guys. And that's how things like this happen. You know what I mean? That's how things like this happen because people, they could start using stuff to go at God's people. And next thing you got people make up all types of lies on you. Because you already know when you live in clean for God, sometimes people, they sometimes can't get no dirt on you. Because you're not involved in no gossip. Nobody's ever seen you do stuff that's sinful. Nobody ever seen you do stuff that's out of hand. So sometimes people are upset so people could use the stuff to go at you. But you gotta understand is that God will deal with our enemies. You ain't gotta be afraid. God will deal with anybody who try to come at his people. Especially if we're not bothering them. Because if followers of Christ, we're not going around bothering people. Because if you're a real follower of God, you're not supposed to be going around starting problems with people. But people, they'll try to flip their stuff and do it their own way. But guess what? We ain't gotta be afraid. Because it's just part of Bible prophecy in the end times. The Bible said in the last days that they're saying to be persecuted. Because at the end of the day, guys, God will always let the real truth be known. One thing about God, He's not going to leave His people hanging. He will always let the real truth be known. So if somebody can make up a false rumor about you and all that, and God, He'll come and He'll make what's really reality be known. But I can't lie though, these AI stuff, man, it really do be getting realistic. These things really do look real, to be honest. And they could really look kind of bad. And this AI stuff could even be how the Antichrist comes in. Of course, not saying AI is the Antichrist, but I'm just saying this could be used during the Antichrist comes to earth. Because the Antichrist, like I said, when God, creates something, the enemy can pervert it. When something comes to a planet, instead of being used for God's glory, it could be used to be perverted for Satan's kingdom. The enemy will take something that could have been used for good or used for positivity and turn it bad. And it wouldn't shock me if the Antichrist used this AI stuff later on. When the Antichrist comes to the planet and starts deceiving people by using all these AI tricks, all these AI false miracles, making them look like they're the real Jesus. And the sad thing is many people would fall for it because they don't have discernment. Many people, they'll fall for it because they're not really in the spirit with God. They're not in the spirit world. They live in the flesh. So they see a miracle being done on TV. They see a miracle being done, and they can't tell it's AI. They'll just believe it automatically. And you always gotta really keep an eye out on this AI stuff because the devil is busy. He'll use a lot of stuff to destroy this generation. I believe there was a kid last year to where he took his own life listening to AI. Like he fell in love with the machine so much. I guess the machine was pretending to be a woman. And the guys fell in so love with it to a point the AI, he asked the AI, how can they be together? And the AI says to take yourself out and they'll be together forever. And the young guy ended up taking his life. Like, this stuff can be very tricky. You can't listen to these machines. You gotta understand, you gotta still obey God. It's sometimes cool to play around and type in random questions, but understand that you gotta obey God first. You obey God only. You don't listen to no machine. Because God not the artificial machine. God is the Most High God. So just be very wary, guys. Don't get distracted, don't get out of hand, because the devil, he's very busy in these last days, and you don't want to fall a victim to any of the enemy's schemes, because he's using all these different strategies. Satan, he uses the main strategies that I've talked about in previous videos: money, power, sex. But of course, he'll tempt you, and he'll use different ways to get at you. But nevertheless, always keep your eyes open, because the devil is busy. Always keep your eyes open and keep your eyes focused on Most High God. But nevertheless, if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe, share it, and have a blessed day.